Hi, my name is Poeartistry. I am excited to welcome you to James Poeartistry Productions. You are tuning into an incredible experience known as Poeartistry Gold, where we delve into the art of commentary, storytelling and poetry. We aim to bring you inspiring and thought-provoking content.
This is a Poeartistry Gold moment by the author James Lynch.
Good day, perceptive readers, and welcome to Poeartistry Gold number 104. If you would reference the last Poeartistry Gold number 103, I mentioned how I'm going to read some excerpts from the Wisdom in the Letter November-December 2025 compact ebook. Now, to start us with this is I'm going to share a story with you. It was a movie, and it's from the science fiction genre. So which one am I going to pick today, just to introduce you, so to speak, or prepare your mind for what we're going into? But you can see now already it's almost like a series within the series of what I'm going to talk about for the Wisdom in the Letter ebook. The story account that I want to share with you from science fiction is actually one of Gene Roddenberry's creation, Star Trek. And this movie is the Wrath the Khan. I bet you every perceptive reader listening to this podcast have heard of the Wrath the Khan. And it was actually something that happened in the Wrath the Khan that went into the search for Spock to show a change in thinking, or maybe some people say an enlightened view, what many Trekkies have found out is called the Prime Directive. And the Prime Directive is a creed, philosophy, which Captain Picard really expounded upon in some of his speeches. That's from The Next Generation, but I just wanted to share that in there. It's basically saying you will not interfere with any society, or a planet or society that they was going into that was so many years still developing or behind in their evolution. So any new technology that us Earthlings had already developed, like they would say warp speed, if a planet was what they call the pre-warp era, as what they would call a pre-warp speed or what have you, that the starships from the Federation would not go in there and start giving them technology to make them jump what some of them would be more than hundreds or thousands of years behind on. That was one of the aspects of the Prime Directive. The same went for even their culture. So if there were belief systems that really already many of the crew members would even express in some of their dialogue about stone ages, things of that nature. Well, if they went to a planet and the planet was actually still in the stone ages, according to their view, they would still not interfere or do things to actually bring them out of their thinking of view. The conflict came at times, guess what? When it was something that dealt with the ethical matter, though. So it would be almost like, well, even if this group believe in this way, the situation that I have right here, you see, I'm still going to do what is best for this individual, or sometimes as they cross the boundaries, so to speak, other Prime Directive, and they went on ahead and did something that they weren't supposed to do anyway. So, that made for interesting story telling. Yet, what happened in the Wrath the Khan is Spock ended up losing his life saving the ship and crew. Now, in the search for Spock, here it is. Captain Kirk went and found them, and I'm not going to tell you the whole story. I would encourage you doing what I call this festive binge watching season to just go watch both movies, the Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan and Star Trek: The Search for Spock. But in the Search for Spock, they went on this great life-saving mission or adventure to find Spock, even though he was dead, isn't it? And there was reasons, as you could see from the last movie, that gave them some type of insight of something that Spock did in the Wrath of Khan when he was about to die, that gave you some type of clue that maybe, just maybe, he could be brought back to life, you see. And maybe there were some aspects of a new planet that was created that it actually had all the resources, the life forces, and also the way that it was functioning at that time through its evolution to be sped up very quickly. So I just encourage you to watch both movies. But see, this is what I want to mention. In the Wrath of Khan, there was a discussion that Spock had, and it wouldn't be the first time that Spock and Captain Kirk had this discussion, or just these expressions that were, that end up being more affectionate as well. And what Spock would, without a lot of emotion, but you could tell he felt strongly that the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the one. Okay. Now, that was the way it was at the end of the Wrath of Khan. Yet, when Kirk and the trusted, loyal crew members that went with them, like Scotty, Chekhov, and Sulu, and the Doctor, when they all went out, and Uhura, and they ran off to go find Spock, and I mean, they were breaking all sorts of regulations and straight up laws to get them a starship to go out there and get him. Well, at the end of that series or what have you, it was almost like the question was, why did you do this? Why did you, break Prime Directive or whatever, and all sorts of regulations will have you, just for this one man? And Captain Kirk said, because the needs of the one outweigh the needs of the many. See, and that's what I want you to think about as I read in Poeartistry Gold number 5, because I'm going to reference this, Poeartistry Gold number 104. In Poeartistry Gold number 105, I'm going to reference Poeartistry Gold number 104 for you to come back and listen to this first, before I go into some of the reading excerpts that I have. And so that's what even in real life, some persons I've had to deal with at times, and what made them make the decisions that they made, But I wanted to bring that out to you as not only something that you may want to watch during this season, but it would give you still something to think about, those type of conversations. Is it the needs of the many outnumber or outweigh the needs of the one, or does the needs of the one outweigh the needs of the many? And they gave really both storylines to show just that point. And it was interesting the way that even Captain Picard still, in the Next Generation, responded one time to that question that Worf was giving him. And Captain Picard just straight up said, I refuse to relegate, life matters like this, of this important, he said, even to arithmetic. But you get the point. You get the scenario and the philosophy of what Gene Roddenberry was writing about, and how in all instances, that's why I mentioned not only the Wrath of Khan, Star Trek number 2, Star Trek number 3, The Search for Spock, and also from The Next Generation, what Captain Picard said. Because in any given situation, some, and maybe this author, have literally had to apply all 3 of those responses or conclusions from these captains and these officers in science fiction. Have you? Take care of yourself, perceptive reader.